All right, everyone. It's on like Donkey Kong. We've got DK64 with GloriousLiar. Any percent, all keys. And it's coming up right now. GloriousLiar, thanks for being with us today on the stream.
Yep.
How are you doing today?
Good.
So, do you want to give us a little rundown of what your run mainly is going to be all about?
Okay, so any percent all keys is a miscellaneous category where you beat the game as fast as possible, but you also want to collect all 8 keys in the game, whereas normally you don't need all 8 of them to beat it. So you're going to see it's mainly fighting most of the bosses, which give off the keys, so it's kind of like a boss rush sort of thing. But
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
okay.
All right, so it's all yours. Take it away. We're ready to go on your mark.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Donkey Kong 64. First thing to get out of the way is we got to do some training barrels to get some basic moves, but we actually don't need all of them because the only benefit of doing all of them is you get to get the Simian Slam upgrade from Cranky, but I'm going to get Simian Slam another way in addition to other moves. So I actually don't need to complete all of them. I only need to complete the ones that I need to beat the bosses. And the only ones that I need to beat the bosses and to get into the levels are the orange barrel and the barrel, which let me throw oranges and throw barrels respectively. So that is all I'm going to be completing. Also, something about this category is we allow cheats for it because it is a miscellaneous category. So that allows the benefit of I get to just throw oranges instantly in the training barrels, which lets me complete them a lot faster, which is a nice perk. It doesn't look too weird in the orange barrel, but in the barrel, you're not supposed to have oranges. So. Yep, and that's all I need. So I'm just going to leave the vine barrel and the dive barrel for later because I actually don't ever need the dive barrel to dive, and I can get the vine barrel later because I only really need it in like 2 locations. And I just did a trick there called swim through vertical walls, which lets me escape the training grounds really fast. If you go into first-person mode underwater at a certain angle, there are walls that you can just pass right through. Okay, so my first destination is going to be Angry Aztec, which is not open, but I'm gonna go there first because it'll set me up for the rest of the run because I need to do a glitch there, which will let me unlock Tiny, which is also going to be the only other Kong that I need. You don't actually need all the Kongs to beat all the bosses. I'm going to tag Warp 2 for later. And this is going to be the first, or not the first glitch that I'm doing. I've already done some glitches, but this is going to be the first lag kick that I'm going to do. If you throw oranges and you kick at certain places, the lag speeds you up in a way that you can sort of phase through walls. So if I can get this, I should just pass right through this door. It's a little finicky. Oh, there we go. Not too bad.
And we missed it a while ago, but Glorious pulled off what's called a moon kick.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you guys who were wondering how DK was kind of like soaring across the sky, that's just like a little easy trick we do to gain height and movement, is we use Donkey's aerial attack on a ramp. And if he hits the ramp with the aerial attack, the next attack gives him like a bunch of height.
And if you'll notice here, there are no vines spawned, which there normally are because I didn't do the vine barrel. And also, the trick that I did to get into this level, you can skip the B-lockers by getting into a precise spot and slapping behind him and touching the portal. Here I'm going to do another clip out, hopefully. It will allow me to skip a cutscene. It's not a huge deal if I miss it. I'm I'm just gonna go without it. It's fine. Normally you can skip this cutscene, but I'd rather not waste too much time going for that hallway clip. It doesn't save that much time.
Could you let us know when's a good time to read donations?
Yeah, if you have one, you can read it right now.
We have $8.01 from T Gunk for my DK64 friends on the couch and in the runner's chair. Morning.
Morning, Tigo.
Morning.
All right, so I just did a moon kick here, and it's gonna let me clip through this weak part of the wall, and that's gonna let me skip and go directly into this boss fight, where normally you'd have to collect 120 bananas and feed them, which is really slow. In fact, I wouldn't even be able to feed them with just DK because there's only 100 bananas per Kong per level, and I only have DK unlocked, so that's the only way I was going to be able to get in there anyway. And coming up, I'm going to do a glitch to actually get Key 5. Even though I'm in World 2, I'm going to get Key 5 from this boss by doing a glitch. It'll be an insta-kill, and then I will refight it and get Key 2, and that will end my trip to Aztec. Alright, I got it. And now you can see the fight is just instantly over and I'm giant, and that is not Key 2, that is Key 5. And I wish I could explain it better than that, but I really can't.
Basically what happens there, we don't 100% know why it happens, but if you hit Dogadon, the boss, on the same frame that you take damage from him, the game just does something really stupid and decides to call the end of the Fungi boss fight, because it's basically copied and pasted from Fungi to Aztec, and so it gives you Key 5 as a result of that.
Right there, what I just did is walk skip, which lets you skip the door walking animation, which exists under the door, by just going directly to the loading zone. I try and do that in every boss door, but it's a little precise, and sometimes you end up just hitting the trigger and it doesn't waste that much time at all. But I try and go for it as much as I can. Now I have to fight the boss normally to get Key 2. What I can do is I can do these barrel jumps towards him and inch towards him as he's trying to fire at me. To end the phase a little earlier. Oh, and I got the cool cutscene where he goes up in the air. That was sick. Sometimes he'll do like a super quick dive down into the lava. Sometimes he'll just go straight up in the air. It honestly just depends on how you hit him. And on the last hit, I'm a little safe so that I don't accidentally soft dog into you. There's a way that you can actually kill that boss where if you do it wrong, no key at all will spawn, and you'll just be stuck in the ring. And so I'm always worried, and I take the last part a little safe. And right there, I just reset out of Aztec because that door that I skipped to get in would prevent me from leaving. And also, I'm about to set up a glitch that will set me up for the rest of the run. If you guys want to explain it.
Yeah, so the glitch he's about to do is called, first it's called intro story glitch, where he's going to interrupt the intro story cutscene at the correct time.
Okay, got it.
So it looks like he got it. So what's happening is the game is still playing the intro cutscene in the background while he's doing all this menuing stuff and going into his game. As a result of it, at the very end, he's going to be pulled into sort of a hidden file 4. He's going to be in basically the main menu once the cutscene's over. And he's going to be doing some menuing stuff that will end up giving him all the moves in the game. But as a result of it, he can't pause, the game doesn't autosave, but he'll also be invincible.
So here I'm coming back for Vine Barrel because I need it in Japes and Galleon. Technically I don't need it, but it makes it a lot easier and it doesn't waste time to get it here. Ooh, that was weird. It also doesn't waste time that wasting time here, so it doesn't matter. No, whatever, man. You know what I mean.
Do you have time for quick donation?
Oh, for a donation? Sure.
Moonman says for $2.69, DK rap at the end or Riot?
There's a DK rap section coming up right now, so stay tuned. Here I'm coming over for Warp 1. Okay, right there you just saw part of the intro cutscene, which is playing in the background. Right now I'm returning to the menu to watch all the boss cutscenes and get pulled back into my file with all the moves, which is essentially the rundown of what's about to happen. So first things first, I have to go and inspect the file that I want the moves to be transferred to. So I go in here and I inspect the file that I was on. And now I'm going to go and watch the jungle boss cutscene, so that each of the boss cutscenes that I'm about to watch are going to make it so that when I enter the boss in my actual file, I won't have to watch this intro cutscene again. And because I'm on like a set timer, it's beneficial for me to do it now and just get as much stuff out of the way as I can now.
Yeah, we may have missed saying it earlier, but because this glitch requires the intro story to play all the way through in the background, it takes about 5 minutes to do no matter what. So you have a lot of time to spend getting other things accomplished while the intro story is playing.
Oh, I need to turn cheats on. Wait. Okay. We're good. Luckily, there's plenty of time to waste, so if I make a menuing mistake, it's not a big deal. I don't have to watch the forest boss because I don't even have to go to Fungi since I got key 5 already in Aztec. I hope you all enjoy the DK rap. Okay, and here I'm gonna go to Jetpack to get Monkey Port so I can get to Helm later. Now I just wait around on the menu. I got Lakeshade Night Cycle earlier today, so Lakeshade Night Cycle is really bad.
In order to get pulled back into adventure mode while he's still in main menu mode, he requires a good cutscene here. He got one, but the timer hasn't hit long enough, so he should eventually get pulled in.
Yeah, hopefully this one is long enough that it'll pull me in towards the end of it. But maybe I was a little too early on the menu. I don't have a timer in front of me, so I didn't know when I was supposed to exit Jetpack.
There are also 2 cutscenes that will play that will not pull you in. There's one where Donkey Kong shakes his leg, which I believe we did a brute force test and saw that it was the most common, so naturally. And there's also one where the screen will go dark and it'll turn to night.
There's also Rain Cycle, the least common one, Rain Cycle. I entered a tag barrel during, it was the first thing that I did when I went into my file. So that unlocked DK. Alright, so now the run begins almost. So now I can sort of explain what I'm set up with and why that was beneficial. So what I have accomplished is, right now I have keys 2 and 5. I have DK unlocked. I have all the tier 3 moves, and I can't take any damage. And also when I get to Helm, there will be no Blastomatic timer. So those are sort of some of the more beneficial things that have just occurred. But one of the main drawback of what this glitch provides is that I am no longer able to pause. So getting out of certain areas is going to be difficult, which is also why I have the cheats on, because having infinite tries at orange throws will be very beneficial, especially when I get to the gauntlet in the middle of the run, which is a Hellman factory, which requires a lot of oranges. You can technically do it without cheats, but it would just be so awful.
One thing that's notable about this run as well is that we have key 5 really early, which allows us to go into Creepy Castle, which currently, right now it's kind of a theoretical thing, but it's currently the one level lobby that we cannot enter early, RTA. So we need to get in there as early as possible with key 5. What Castle allows us to do is you can actually unlock every single Kong in the game by fighting the Creepy Castle boss. But for those of you guys hoping to see our good friends Diddy Kong, Lanky Kong, and Chunky Kong, you'll unfortunately be very disappointed to know that we're only going to be freeing Tiny Kong. So this entire run is done with only Donkey Kong and Tiny Kong, even though we will be playing as every single Kong in the last K. Rool fight.
Yeah. Also, I'm turning in key 2 here because I'm going to have to make a return visit later to unlock K. Rool. And because of the way key priority works, when you show up with multiple keys, if I had key 2 when I come the next time, I would have to turn in a lot more keys than I want. The only other keys that I want to turn in are keys 8 and 3, which will unlock K. Rool. But if I come back with more keys, then it will mess with the priority, and I'll have to watch a bunch of extra cutscenes that serve no purpose, because we can get into every other level early without the key to get to the lobby. Oh, come on.
So a kind of funny note about the keys. You mentioned that you need keys 8 and 3 to unlock K. Rool. There are 8 keys in the game. Of course, you need key 8, the last key to unlock the final boss. And the developers just assumed that you had all the other keys, except for key 3, which seems to do nothing when you turn it in initially. So they decide to check. They assume that if you have key 8, you have all the others, and they also check for key 3 because it has to do something. So those are the only 2 you need to beat the game, really.
Shoutouts to Isotorch. And TJ. Missed the box skip there, but it really doesn't waste that much time at all. Okay, so this is King Cutout. What I have to do is I have to shoot myself at the correct cutout version of him. I'm going to do some lag reduction by keeping the camera sort of inverted there. And you're going to see me look down a lot because this fight is very laggy, and I can reduce lag by just zooming in the camera and also looking at the floor when I don't need to actively be looking at anything. It's also kind of risky because there's actually some certain angles that the lasers can shoot you at, and they'll knock you into a cannon, and I don't want to necessarily lose Lanky this early into the fight. Though I do need to lose him so that I can unlock Tiny. I don't quite want him going. Oh, that's bad. I'm gonna go for it though. Oh, okay. I failed. Okay. It wouldn't have mattered because I need to ditch him anyway, but it's just kind of scary because if I mess up, then I have to do a really stupid backup later. I hope you all enjoy the cutout noises as much as I do. actually not going to be able to hit him on this first cycle, so I'm going to wait. In the meantime, though, I can kill this ghost, and it will let me set up for a quick key grab later, hopefully, if I see where he respawns. I didn't see where he respawned, but there's another way that I can find it. I think it's the opposite side that I'm on right now. I'm gonna ditch Lanky down. Oh, I did not know that would happen.
Their token, that has never happened before.
So now I know which side I need to do a glitch on later, which will give me a fast key grab. Alright, and that's King Cutout. And because I'm finishing this boss with Tiny, that means I will be able to unlock Tiny permanently without getting her an Aztec. And without getting Diddy Kong to unlock her in the first place. And because of the glitch that I did, I already have Monkey Port, which will let me go straight to Helm after this, which is convenient because when I exit Creepy Castle Lobby, I will be right by K-Rool's ship, or behind K-Lumsy. Okay, so if I do a what's called a pseudo dive here, I can swim through this wall, and because of the way the fight works, it will warp me to the center of the ring, which is exactly where the key is, and it will warp me directly to it, and I'll grab the key instantly. All right.
As I once so painfully learned in a bingo, you cannot do that as Diddy Kong because he's the last Kong. It will just end the fight and act like you didn't defeat him.
Yeah, it's quite painful. Okay. Alright, off to Helm. Gonna do another pseudo dive here. What I mean by pseudo dive is I didn't ever do dive barrel, so I technically can't press Z to dive, but if I force myself under the surface and then I go into first person, then I can dive. Okay, so now I'm going to Helm. Even though the mouth isn't open, I can do a glitch to get in there early with Tiny. Oh, I meant to get a kick slide there. Okay. Okay, and I can clip through there, and I can land in the loading zone. And now I'm in Helm Lobby. And now to actually get there, I don't have 100 golden bananas, but what I can do is I can go into this corner and backflip here, and now I'm out of bounds. And I can just go straight to the loading zone behind the locker.
Yeah, for those watching, if this is like your first time ever seeing a Donkey Kong 64 speedrun, like, we apologize for not commentating every single out of bounds.
Yeah.
But you should just know that this game, like, walls are only
broken.
they're only a suggestion, basically. Like, we can clip through almost every single wall in the game through some glitch or another, so.
Normally you need Lanky to get up that slippery slope, but by doing kick slide jumps in a precise way, you can just get right up it. And I don't have Chunky, so what I'm going to have to do is what's called DK Helm, which starts by kicking out. Oh my god. First try switch kick, wow. Okay, I'm going to take this carefully because I can't hear very well. So this is called DK Helm. And it's there's a lot of potential for mistakes, so I'm just going to take it slow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a height gain right here on this out of bounds corner. Oh my god, okay. I'm going to line up with this hallway. And this lets me skip the entire Blastomatic room. And now now I can just backflip here, and now I'm past the Blastomatic room. And I also don't have 4 crowns, so you're like, okay, well, how is he going to get past this? Well, there's this terminal right here where you can literally just sort of walk through this wall. I have a bad camera angle, but you can just walk through this wall if you slide in there the right way.
I just want to mention real quick before he comes up to this next part. Switch kick is not as easy as he made it look.
That
is
was
one of the harder
really
tricks
good that
in
I
the
got
game.
that first try. And this is how I get past the Nintendo and Rareware coin door also. So now I just skipped so much stuff. You have no idea. Okay, but now I'm stuck in this room and I can't pause exit. There's a lot of stuff I can't do. So what I have to do is I actually have to orange clip out of here, which is really difficult. Oh my god. That was the worst attempt I've ever seen too, and it still worked. This run is blessed. This run is so blessed.
Normally those clips are extremely difficult, like even harder than switch kick. Those are some of the hardest orange clips in the whole game. Helm is a very small level. There's not a lot of objects in it, so there's not a whole lot of lag for you to generate and abuse to get through the walls. So the fact that he got both of those basically first try, 'cause the fairies were in the way the first time, that was incredible.
Yeah, I did Helm earlier, and it took me, the entirety of it took me like 20 minutes, so I'm really happy with that. Oh man, and first try back to early. This is what I was talking about earlier, which I called it the gauntlet, and it's going as perfectly as it possibly could, so I'm really happy right now. Okay, so now I'm in factory. I need to make sure to tag this warp 1 so I can get out later. I'm gonna kill these robots so I can set up for an orange clip that I'm about to do. I can just walk into this corner, face like here, throw, and I'm gonna damage boost through this wall. And now I do this out of bounds navigation. Hold on, I'm gonna line up so I don't go the wrong way. Yeah. I think this shit's good. Okay, yeah. Hole in one. Oh, so close. If I had got hole in one, this would have been the best run of my entire life. Okay, now I have Tiny now, so I don't actually have to do this boss with DK, even though I could. And I kind of like doing it with DK, but it's a little better to do it with Tiny. I can't do the moon kick, though. I have to do what's called a C-up clip on this stair. By stalling my movement with C-up, I can sort of just fall through the stair if I can get it. It's kind of precise. There we go. Let's see if I can get walk skip. Nope. Alright, and so this is the hardest boss in the game, but it's not too bad. Where is it? So it's behind me. Okay. See, I have Simeon Slam for this boss because of main menu moves that I did earlier, luckily. Magic goes in a specific pattern, and I'm just going to try and do, like, in the first 3 phases, I'm going to do a lot of diagonals, which lets me know where he's going to be.
So the way the Mad Jack fight works is there's 5 phases. Each phase he jumps a set number of times. It's 9, 11, 12, 13, 15. And the first 3 phases he can't jump backwards, so he'll always try to jump towards you unless you're where he just jumped, and he'll go around in a circle to try and get you. Once he's done jumping, 2 switches will spawn that are a random function based off of where you are standing and where he is. So the switches are kind of pseudo luck based. There's some influence you can have on it, but not a ton. And in phases 4 and 5, Mad Jack learns to jump backwards, and he'll also shoot lasers at you after his jumps instead of fireballs. So you can see, yeah, he unfortunately jumped backwards, and Glorious jumped into him.
Yeah, I was trying to land on the corner so I wouldn't get knocked back, but I ended up just falling a little short of it. I'm kind of lost on which. Okay, this is his preferred direction. So if I jump this way, I should be good now.
Yeah, so by preferred
okay,
direction,
that's
if
fine.
you're diagonal from Mad Jack in phases 4 and 5, he'll jump one, he'll favor one direction across the grid, and so you can manipulate him to jump a certain direction if you know which way his preferred direction is. Because if Mad Jack is about to jump on you, he jumps a lot slower, and so you want as many fast jumps as you can possibly get. So you would like to manipulate where he's going to jump.
Okay, now I'll try and see which way he's going. Okay, it's good. He likes to go that way. Okay, I keep doing that. That's weird. Oh, cool. Alright, that's Mad Jack. It sucks that I fell, but it's not too bad. I feel like the rest of Helm and Factory made up for that. Alright, and I tagged Warp 1 earlier because now I can just go straight from this Trofenskoff to the entrance to the level and be on my way. If you forget this Warp 1, it's actually really bad. I don't even remember the backup if you miss it.
There's a couple of different pretty difficult backups you can do. Like Helm, Factory isn't that laggy of a level because it's very closed in, and especially in the room where he was, there's not a lot of objects loaded. But there are some orange clips you can do to get out.
Okay, so now that I have keys 8 and 3, I can finally do my last KLMZ trip. And the way that key priority works is it's going to turn in my highest key first, and if the highest key is key 8, then it will turn in the lowest key next, and my lowest key that I have in my inventory is now 3. And then even though I have key 7, it didn't turn it in because of the way it's routed. Okay, so now I'm going to be on to Galleon, which in this route is cool. It's actually open, so I can just swim right in. But there's a really, really easy glitch to get in here early. And this is one of the reasons I got Vine Barrel. It's going to be for this next room. And something really weird about Puff Toss is that because DK has a boat minigame in this level, and going really fast would severely break it, they made it so that DK's boat speed is slower than the other 4 Kongs, which makes Puff Toss really hard and really slow, which is another reason why we get another Kong for this fight in particular. Whoops, I dipped really low there. So I can't fight this boss with DK. I'm going to do it with Tiny, because Tiny has fast boat speed. The intended Kong for this fight is Lanky, which the Wii U route actually gets Lanky. Okay. That's the last ledge clip of the run. Okay, I'm really bad at this fight, so judge me all you want, but I don't care. What you have to do is you have to drive through all these stars, and they're in set positions. think there are 5 phases. Oops. Normally if you're fast, you can get what's called shockwave skip, but I'm not fast enough for that. I don't know where the next star is to find it. Oh, there it is. I can feel everyone in the DK community judging me right now. I know on a lot of them you kind of just have to like turn around instantly, so that's usually what I do when I forget the pattern. Oh my god. In 101, you have to do this fight without MMM, and you only do it on 2 melons, and you see a lot of people get close to dying. I haven't seen anyone actually die in this fight though in a long time. But I would really love to. It would really brighten my day. Alright, and that's Puff Toss. Okay, and to escape this level, there's actually this convenient thing that when this Trough and Scoff leaves, you can backflip at that spot and just instantly void right behind it, which is cool because when you void, it takes you right to the DK portal. Okay, so I'm gonna tag. Alright, I don't need a tag to get here actually.
It's important to note that the end of the Puff Toss fight, specifically that cutscene, is one of the more common areas that the game will just crash for no reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does that, but on N64, Puff Toss is probably the most common just random crash. So we should be very thankful that he didn't crash because, like we said, when he was doing main menu mode, the game will not save at all, and he can't pause and manually save it.
Yes! Alright, I got that. You can skip that banana dance by hitting the loading zone at the same time. And it's funny because it's really far into the run compared to when you normally get it. And it doesn't waste very much time if you miss it, but it's cool. Okay, so here we are in Japes, the first level. And to get past this entrance area quickly, I'm going to do what's called bush push by getting into this corner and letting it push me into the wall a little bit, and then doing this not very precise rotation. And now I can just roll over to the main area. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Okay. And then this lets me go straight to this Trough and Scoff up here, which is the second reason why I need vines. Which I technically don't need them, but it makes it fast to get to this one. And I can fight this one with DK because it's fast. In fact, doing it with Tiny would be stupid because her barrel roll animation sucks. Got walk skip. For this first phase, I'm just going to look at the floor because it's laggy and all of the fireballs just hit this barrel in front of me and just explode. And I don't have to do anything. And what I'm going to do for the next 2 phases, I'm going to try and intentionally take damage to stop his rolling at me. and then when he rolls to his next position, I'm going to try and place a barrel in front of his face so that when he's done shooting fireballs, it will just instantly hit him in the snout. So that's a good position. So now I just have to wait out these fireballs, and when he's done shooting, his snout will come out and should instantly hit that barrel that I placed down. Like that. I think it was Cigna that came up with that strat. Try and do it again here. It's a little harder on this phase. I think that's not too far away, so that should be good. Alright, cool. Armadillo's naturally one of the easier bosses because he is the first. Right after this, we're going to fight the Caves version of him, which is not necessarily harder, but it's a lot longer. Alright, and so the way we actually get out of Japes is pretty interesting, because just like there was a bush at the entrance to get to the main area, there's another bush that we can do what we call reverse push on to get back to the entrance. So if I just jump right here, I can do what's called reverse push, and then okay, if you see butterflies, that means you can just get right to the portal, and then you don't actually have to void. You can just go straight to the portal, which is a little faster. Alright, so now there's only one more key to be collected, and then I have to fight the final boss, K-Rool. So this is why I tagged Warp 2 earlier, is so that I can go back up here to Caves Lobby faster. And the reason we do this last is because we don't need Key 6 for anything, and also the Caves entrance is right by where the final fight is, so I can just go straight from Caves Lobby to the fight, and it's faster. Do one last B-Locker skip to... Yeah, so we actually didn't really need any golden bananas. It's faster. It's hard to skip the Japes B-Locker, which is why we get the one banana, but other than that, you don't need any at all. It's quite amazing. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is got a pseudo dive in this low water and do a swim through vertical walls to get out of bounds here. And then I'm going to navigate here over to a Trophenscoff that's hidden behind an ice wall. And what I have to do is I have to backflip up to it. And there we go. I'm in Trophenscoff.
Yeah, like we said earlier, the actual any percent category of this run, you only need keys 8 and 3. They're literally the only collectibles you need to beat the entire game. But in this category, like Gloria said, it's really hard to do the Japes B-Locker skip. It's just really annoying. It's a lot faster and a lot more consistent just to grab the golden banana.
There is a way you can skip it via an orange clip or like a really dumb like kick into B-Locker to get into a precise spot, but it's just not worth it. Especially considering that golden banana is free when you just talk to K-Lumsy first. There was an old all bosses route that went in a more intended order, and it did do like Japes early and stuff, and it was a cool route, but kind of dumb. Ever since we found a way to kill or get key 5 with DK instead of Chunky, we changed it to all keys, and the route got a lot better and faster. Zoom in the camera here for a little bit of lag reduction. And you'll see me keep running into him, because if I don't, then he'll just keep coming at me. But if I just take damage instantly, then he will just stop rolling and just go on to his next phase. So whenever he just goes up into the air and pounds, I can just do lag reduction for the most part. Because this fight is pretty laggy. Like, the only noticeable time saves in this fight are from lag reduction and, like, placing the barrel whenever he's going over to the next spot. Oh, I didn't mean to get hit there. See if I can get him in kick. And kicks for charity. Oh, come on. I was a little too close there, and when I placed it down, it was like inside of his collision, so it just blew up. It's not too big of a time waste. So here I'm going to try and get hit by this homing missile as fast as possible so that he'll pop out and I can just grab this barrel and throw it at him. And that's Armadillo 2. That was the last boss before K. Rool. As you can see, it's really laggy, especially during that explosion. Alright, so I'm going to try and clip out here. Normally I could just walk to the entrance, but if you stand in this spot, you can backflip onto the roof. It's kind of hard. Okay, and then when I'm here, I can jump aerial at this antenna and get pushed out of bounds and void. And that'll take me straight to the entrance. Okay, and now we're on to K. Rool, which we unlocked earlier. Okay, so yeah, like we said earlier, even though the only Kongs we unlocked were DK and Tiny, and we even unlocked Tiny in a broken way, this fight just automatically gives them to you. And you actually need some of their moves to beat the fight, but because we did main menu moves, then we already have them, even for the Kongs we didn't unlock. Which is really convenient. The way this fight works is there are 5 phases, 1 for each Kong. DK, Diddy, Lanky, Tiny, Chunky. And you don't need moves for all of them, but you need moves for Diddy, technically, and Tiny and Chunky, I think.
So for those casual players out here who have played this before, you're probably used to K. Rool being a pretty long fight, probably pretty nostalgic to you, but we speedrunners have optimized each of these phases to be really, really quick. So for Donkey Kong, what you have to do is jump into these barrels, and you have to kind of like baboon blast yourself at K. Rool. We know the amount of counts that we need to take before shooting ourselves at K. Rool, so it'll be really, really fast.
What I can do here is, normally you can get into that barrel early, but if I count 4 punches on this first one, then I can hit him. The next one's going to be 5 oscillations. And this one's going to be 3 punches. And the last one will be 7. It's always in that set amounts.
And notice Glorious is turning away from K. Rool in order to reduce lag.
I don't necessarily do that for lag reduction. I do that more just for consistency's sake, so I always know I can like buffer inputs during the cutscene where I hit him, but I guess it does reduce lag in that way. I just always did that because it made it was always consistently at that angle whenever I would leave the barrel. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to intentionally take damage on him when he throws his glove. And then I think I was too far forward. Normally you can get into that during the cutscene, but it's fine. So what I have to do is I have to shoot these targets, and you can actually shoot. There's targets on both sides of the lights, but you can shoot through the light if you're in the right spot and at the right altitude. It's what we call double shot. And if you get it on all 4 lights, it saves time because you don't have to go to the other side. Missed it there, but it's fine. The convenient thing about missing it is whenever he hits you with the glove, you kind of just get damage boosted over the light, and then you're in position to hit the other side anyway, as long as you had upward momentum. And then you can just sort of hit it on your way back down. So that, even though I missed the last 2, that actually wasn't very slow. All right, and we are on our way. Something that a lot of people don't know is that you actually need barrel to beat the game because of this fight, because of this part of the fight. You need the ability to pick up barrels, or else you can't pick up these barrels whenever they pop up. So we needed the ability to throw barrels not only for the barrel bosses, but for this. I think he'll hit that. Might be a little close. Nope. That was stupid. I haven't done K-roll in a long time, so I hope you'll excuse me. There's a set pattern that you can throw these barrels at that makes the fight really consistent, but once you're off, I honestly don't really know a good backup, so I kind of just have to improvise. But luckily this part of the fight's pretty easy. That might be a little early, but I think he'll still hit the corner of it. Yep. Alright, and that's Lanky Phase. Diddy and Lanky Phase are definitely the hardest 2, so the rest of the boss is easy. Tiny Phase is the longest, but it's really easy to be consistent at it, and Chunky Phase is probably the second easiest after DK Phase. So you're going to see me do something in this fight, which you won't see anyone do it on Wii U VC, but you'll see N64 runners do it. This fight, you lose a lot of time to lag, so if you can do you need to do a lot of lag reduction so that this part of the fight is not like ridiculously slow. So when I'm in the shoe part of this fight, you're going to see me be looking down at the floor a lot because the toes move in a specific pattern, and I'm going to be finishing off the toes with an orange throw because it lets me damage the toe while not leaving first person, and still it lets me do the fade out part of it while I'm still looking at the floor, which makes it leave a little faster. So I'm going to do that as much as I can. And while he's doing shockwaves, I'm going to get up on here and just look at the ceiling. He does a set number of shockwaves, so I know when to jump towards the barrel.
It wouldn't be a Rareware game if you didn't have to look at the floor or ceiling at some point.
So he does 4, 3, 4, 5 shockwaves, because there are 4 phases. I don't need toes.txt. I've had it memorized literally since like my first run, and anyone who uses it is bad. Calling all you out. If you can make fun of my puff toss, I can make fun of your toes.txt.
Toes.txt is it's sort of a running joke in the DK community. His toes here on a set pattern, and we have a text document explaining, you know, where to stand and what toes are going to hit.
Oops, I was a little early there. I can't hear the toes. I have to improvise. That was not because I didn't know the pattern. That was because I couldn't hear. So all I'm doing here is just looking at the stealing, because it reduces lag from all the shockwaves that K-Rool does. Lag reduction in this part of the fight actually can save like 30 or 45 seconds, I think. Now I'm just off. I'm gonna go for a perfect last phase. That'll redeem me. I went early because I couldn't hear. And go off to right. Okay, this is kind of a train wreck, but it's whatever. It's convenient that we have unlimited oranges because when I get to this part of the fight, then I don't have to worry about my orange count. In other routes, you don't necessarily have to worry about your orange count, but you need at least 4 for it to be decently fast. And in other routes, you don't have unlimited oranges, so you just need to make sure you have enough before the fight. Optimally, you'd have 10. Oh, wow. I had a lot of momentum there. Okay, so here I have to look for K-Rool to be at a specific spot on the ground before I do a punch. I have these visual cues. And also K. Rool's kind of moving in a set pattern, so I know where to dodge him. K. Rool's pretty long, and honestly, there comes a point when you're good enough at it where it's essentially an auto scroller, but it's not too bad. Do I backflip? All right, for charity.
So I need to tell you the story of a poor boy named Connor75. Feel free to call him out in chat. I know he's there. There was a time right after the Wii U Virtual Console version came out where Tudos was sort of the king of DK64. He had the no levels
And
early
time.
and the 101 records.
Sorry, I should have warned you.
And Connor was on world record pace in 101. Was going to be the first to dethrone Tudos. All he had to do was press B, and the boy pressed A. So he backflipped instead and got hit by K. Rool. It cost him about 20 seconds and cost him the record. So if you ever hear about the DK64 backflip, shout outs to Connor75.
Shout outs to Connor75. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
let's
everybody.
hear it. The Glorious Liar and his amazing DK64 run. How do you feel about your run today?
That was a good run, especially honestly, the hardest part of the run went the best out of everything, so I'm really happy with that.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, that run, the route for this run is basically 50% the game, 50% the last boss fight.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, then again, you go through all the Kongs even though you don't free all of them.
Yeah.
So basically when you get to the last fight, the game simply gives you all the Kongs because you have to go through all the phases of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So basically at least we got to see all of them regardless.
Yeah.
But come on, let's hear it one more time, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Remember to donate to Child's Play.
And how was your experience as a whole?
Really good. I really enjoyed the event, and shout out to NoReset. It's a really good event.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, and we're going to keep on going. We have more speedruns coming. We're going to get ready for the next one in a couple of minutes. So stay tuned. Coming right up in a couple of minutes, we're going to have Super Mario World with Anoraks, all castles, about 55 minutes this one. So if you're really into old school Mario, well, do we have a treat for you? So come one, come all, stay tuned. We'll be right back.